you are the first to go to college in your family, everything is new and you do not know what to expect. I tried to gain all the knowledge I could from books my brother and I checked out from the library on what to expect from your freshman year of college. I read those books in hope of understanding everything I needed to know to survive my freshman year. Since I did not know anyone who had gone to college, I had no one to talk to about their college experience. I hoped that in those books I would learn all I had to know about what awaited me in San Antonio. While the books did help me in giving me a brief overview of what to expect, there was no book out there to prepare me for everything in between. As I read those books, I realized that none of the books were really aimed towards the type of student I am, a first-generation Latina college student. I began thinking that there should be a book geared towards this type of student. It never fails to amaze me how much encouragement I have received from my parents to pursue a college education. Having immigrated from Mexico and not having surpassed elementary school themselves, they understood the value of an education. I recall my mother telling me as a child that I would one day go to La Universidad. When I was in middle school, I started announcing that I would go to UT. When the time came for me to move from Houston to San Antonio, my family and friends of the family had mixed reactions. Those around me did not comprehend how my parents were letting me move to a different city by myself. Friends of the family asked my parents if leaving to San Antonio was my decision or if they had kicked me out of the house. Many ignorantly speculated I would get pregnant during my stance in San Antonio. Having everyone's eyes upon me became an unnecessary burden. As my college years have gone and the remaining days come to an end, I have ignored those comments and stayed true to myself and my goals. My parents and I had to adjust to a new life, me without them and them without me. While they had to show everyone else that they were fine with letting me go away to college, I know that it was not easy for them. My mother, although supportive, consoled herself by thinking that as each break passed, it was closer to summer and I would be home soon. Although my father appeared stronger, I know he missed me and worried about how he would pay for my tuition and room. The first semester was probably the toughest, in which I felt the loneliest and wondered why I had left home. As the months passed, I began to feel comfortable in my new environment, and I knew I had made the right decision in going to UTSA, surprised at how much shorter my school day was compared to high school. Having always been self-disciplined, I adjusted to my studies well. What did sadden me was how few friends I had. I was rather quiet and went home as soon as class was over. There was no room for socializing in the classroom, and I was unsure of where to make friends. I spent the first semester of my freshman year pretty lonesome, with only a couple of friends and clinging to long-distance friendships. It was not until my second semester of college that I decided I needed to join something and make new friends. I learned that the best way to make friends was to join an organization with students who had similar interests to mine. I joined the Hispanic Student Association, and in them found a family away from home. After I joined HSA, I became involved in community service as well as culture events and began enjoying college more. What I do know is that as each college year has passed, I have learned more and more academically as well as about myself. I never understood what people meant when they said college was the time to find themselves or understand who they are. My first 3 years in college, I thought I knew who I was, and I did not understand what all the commotion was about. I have come to realize that I am whatever I say I am, and that although people perceive me in a certain way, that does not matter to me. As I reflect on my experience as a college student, I am amazed at how much one gains academically, as well as about the self. Prior to entering college, I did not know what to expect or how much I would learn about myself. I do not think my family realizes how much I have learned about myself in college. I have been fortunate in not having to work while I have been in college until recently. I wanted to become more independent and help my father with my college expenses. When I started working and going to school, I realized that I had to manage my time in order to meet my deadlines and work schedule. I had been nurtured enough and perhaps had even taken advantage of my father's generosity in helping me with my college expenses. When I started working, I began appreciating my leisure time and knew I had to divide my time efficiently to what was most important, which is school and work. I have been successful in managing my time, but there have been times when it is hard to meet deadlines and sleep enough. But I guess it is part of the college experience. I think that the key to maintaining a balance between work and school is to remember that school is your #1 priority. I feel fortunate to be the first one in my family to attend college, but I truly wish that there were more people in my family that have gone to school. I hope to be setting a trend for the young girls in my family who have seen me go to college. Unfortunately, my parents did not have the opportunity to go to school since they are from rural areas of Mexico. Sometimes I imagine my father as a 19-year-old boy leaving El Rancho to go to El Norte, and I wonder if he ever imagined having a daughter in college. I know that must not have crossed his mind, but I like to ponder on how far my parents have come. I feel proud to be a Latina in college, and I am in debt with my parents for paying for my education. It makes me happy to be in school and getting an education that would have been non-existent had my parents stayed in Mexico. I ask myself how more girls like me can go to school. Although it may seem impossible for some girls to pursue a college degree, it is all possible if it is what one desires. There are still not enough of us to fully represent the number of Latinos in the United States. One thing that must be done is to educate the community that education is important and that one should aspire to go to school. Grandmother once told my father he was wasting his money by sending me to school since I am a woman and will one day marry. Like the previous criticism I have received on my path to a college degree, I have used those comments to empower me and reach my dreams. I think back on a few of my Latina friends from high school and recall the lack of encouragement from their parents to go to school. They encourage them instead to get a job or get married. Family and friends can play a big role in determining whether a young girl goes to college. The community is so involved in marrying young girls that they do not encourage a college education. If we hope to see a change in our college campuses, we must help others obtain a college education like we are doing or have done. Since family members can be the most influential characters in a student's life, we must encourage the boys and girls in our families to attend college. How can Latinas be encouraged to stay in school and further their education? What helped me was my parents' support to go to school. But what if that support is not found in the parents? Where then can girls find encouragement to go to school? High school programs that expose students to college are a way to show boys and girls the world of higher learning. Visiting college campuses as school field trips allow students to see where they could one day. When they come into college campuses, the dream of going to college becomes more real and more attainable. Mentoring students that are in risk of dropping out is another way of encouraging students to go to college. One thing that has given me inspiration and has helped me is having had strong Latina professors. They have helped me see that I can succeed in the academic world and achieve a degree like they have. Seeing the success of other Latinas empowers me and reassures me that it can be done. The words of encouragement, as well as the criticism I have received, have helped remind me what I am aiming for. The financial help, as well as the emotional support from my parents, have helped bring me where I am now. I hope that in the future, more Latinas will go to college. I also hope that I can become a trendsetter in my family and will no longer be the only one in college. You, as well as I, must continue to encourage the women around us to go to college and help them in whatever way we can. It is our debt to our hermanos who may not think they can do it to show them that, like us, they too can go to school.
What advice would you give to someone who's leaving high school, graduating high school, and about to start college?
Well, one thing, to join organizations and groups that will help them to not feel sad for leaving home. That's one thing. And also to find a good mentor in college, and also to not feel ashamed if they have to go to a counselor to talk to someone about their experiences on leaving home